For decades, there's been this silent, undeclared war playing out between Israel and Iran, mostly in the shadows. Well, not anymore. That shadow war has just burst out into the open. What we're seeing now is this incredibly high stakes game of geopolitical chess, where just one wrong move could change everything for the Middle East. And really, that leads us to the one question that's on everyone's mind, from Washington to right here in London. Why now? What's changed? How did this long simmering conflict suddenly reach a boiling point like this? Well, the short answer is that the rulebook has been completely torn up. For years, right, this was a conflict fought at a distance, through proxies, cyber attacks, covert ops, that sort of thing. But that's all over now. We've entered a brand new and frankly much more dangerous phase of direct state-on-state confrontation. At its core, this whole thing is really about two worldviews that just can't be reconciled. If you're sitting in Tel Aviv, an Iran with a nuclear weapon isn't just a headache, it's a direct threat to your country's existence. But from Tehran's point of view, its whole network of allies and proxies, what they call the axis of resistance, is absolutely essential. It's their defensive shield against what they see as constant pressure from Israel and America. And who's stuck in the middle of all this? The United States, of course. They're trying to pull off this incredibly difficult balancing act. On the one hand, their support for Israel's security is, as they always say, ironclad. But at the exact same time, there is absolutely zero appetite in Washington for getting dragged into another massive forever war in the Middle East. Okay, but this isn't just a problem for Washington to solve. Let's bring this closer to home. From our perspective here in London, it's absolutely crucial to grasp what this means for the UK, because trust me, this is anything but a distant crisis. And this really is the key point. The idea that Britain can somehow wall itself off from an instability in the Middle East, well, it's just not realistic. It's a dangerous illusion, really. The connections, whether it's our economy or our national security, are very real, they're direct, and they absolutely affect every single one of us. So, what are these ripple effects? Well, think about it. Any conflict in the Gulf hits global energy prices almost immediately, and we all feel that right at the petrol pump. Then there are the key shipping lanes, like the Suez Canal. A massive amount of UK trade passes through there. And of course, any major flare-up sends the stock markets into a panic and puts a huge strain on our most important diplomatic alliances. So what you have is the Foreign Office walking this incredibly fine diplomatic tightrope. The official line, both in public and behind the scenes, is all about calling for calm, for de-escalation. But at the same time, you've got these long-standing alliances and security commitments in the region that have to be managed. It's an exceptionally tricky spot to be in. And this is really the central problem for everyone involved, isn't it? It's the difference between deterrence and provocation. You want to show enough strength to prevent a war, but you don't want to do something that accidentally starts one. And right now, the line between those two things has become terrifyingly thin. And let's be clear, this isn't just about sternly worded statements. We're talking about serious military moves. The U.S. is shifting major assets into the region. Entire carrier strike groups are being deployed. The most advanced missile defense systems are being moved into place. Now, these are meant to be powerful signals to deter an attack, but they also raise the stakes massively. If you look at history, it teaches us a pretty stark lesson. Big wars rarely start because someone has a brilliant, well-thought-out plan. More often than not, they kick off because of a tragic series of miscalculations. One side misunderstands the other, and things just spiral out of control. And that forces us to ask a really uncomfortable question, doesn't it? Are we already caught in that exact kind of cycle? With every punch and counterpunch, are we climbing a ladder of escalation that might be impossible to climb back down? So where does that leave us? It leaves us with an entire region just teetering on the brink. All the usual ways to cool things down, all the diplomatic channels, they're being stretched to their absolute limit. The risk of someone making a catastrophic mistake is probably higher now than it has been in a very, very long time. And that's what this knife edge is all about. Every single move, every ship deployment, every press release has to be weighed so carefully. Is this action going to stop a war, or is it the thing that starts one? Is it deterrence or provocation? Because if you get that calculation wrong, well, the consequences could be absolutely devastating. So we're left with this final, incredibly urgent question. With events moving this fast, is there even a diplomatic off-ramp left? Is there a way for cooler heads to step in and pull everyone back from the edge? Or has the cycle of escalation already pushed us past the point of no return? The answer to that question isn't just academic. It's going to shape the security of the Middle East and, let's be honest, the world for many years to come.